welcome back to another episode of Happiness Matters, the show with me, Beanie Man, and my awesome sidekick, Mo, the service dog here. And today I have an amazing guest, and we just met actually like 10 minutes ago when she walked into my house. Here I am, and here you are. And we met through Angel Tussie, I believe. Was that, or did you find me
I think it
somewhere
was
else?
Angel's. Angel posted.
Right.
Yes.
So anyway, so we met through Facebook.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jane Sanders is here.
Yes.
And I'm fascinated with what you do because, I mean, we've all heard about palm reading and everything, but what you do is not palm reading.
Correct.
It is
Mind blowing.
It's like
It looks like palm reading, but it's not.
okay.
It's called
Palm, not paw.
scientific hand analysis.
Scientific hand analysis.
The
okay.
lines in your hand mimic the neural pathways in your brain.
I'm screwed.
The gentleman that put this database together spent over 40 years
Oh wow.
and analyzed over 30,000 hands
Wow.
to put this database together.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I never heard of it until I met you.
Most people haven't, but it's been out there for a while
A
now.
hot minute.
And
What?
even in the Denver area, I don't know about Colorado Springs if there's any here, but in the Denver area there's probably half a dozen scientific
Really?
hand analysts, some I've taught.
Huh.
Um,
Oh, that's something you can learn?
oh yes, that's because it's not palm reading.
Right.
There's no predictions to it, no fortune telling,
No past life.
no past life. Well, there is a line that can tell you if you have a capacity to do that for people,
Oh, okay.
but
Which one is it? Not there.
right there.
Right there. Do I have it?
See that? Yes.
Who knew?
So,
Cool.
the gentleman that created the system wrote a book about it, and the foreword to the book was written by a neurosurgeon from Stanford, who used this with
Wow. So
his
it's
patients.
legit.
It's legit, and Forbes wrote an article about it
Mm-hmm.
because the reporter experienced it. So it is mind blowing. I mean, it just is.
I'm
You
just sitting here going like, whoa, I need to hire you.
Well, so here's what it tells you, Beanie.
Mhm.
It identifies, and this is why most people get it, it identifies your innate life purpose. How you're
Okay.
meant to make a difference in the world. Now, obviously, it's not going to be a job description. That would be cuckoo.
That would be like really weird.
That would be like a $10,000 price tag, right? If it told people what...
That would be the starting price.
Yes. So this is the concept behind the work.
Okay.
In the most detail and specificity and comprehensivity, is that a word?
It is now.
Yes, that you can get it with. Because I tried to get my purpose every which way but loose, and nothing was enough to help me
Right.
figure it out. It also identifies gifts you have to help you make the difference you're meant to make. And it identifies the tripping points, the blind spots. It's actionable, and that's one of the things that I really like
Wow.
about it. So, like, I was looking for purpose. I've had
I'm just
3
like-
careers. I know. Everybody is. I'm so fortunate that people find it so fascinating, and I love speaking about
Well,
it.
I'm a nerd anyway, and I love science, and I love the woo-woo, and I love it when the science explains the woo-woo and the, you know,
There's overlap.
and
here.
there's overlaps, and
Yeah.
it's like, see, and then there is proof for the people that need proof, that says like, I don't believe in all of that stuff, but then we can say, but it's like, here,
Right. Here's a blueprint.
and that's what I love.
that God has put in your hands to help you figure out how to make the difference you're meant to make. Now, you take the woo-woo modalities, there is overlap. Because what everybody considers woo-woo, astrology is science of the planets, numerology is science of the numbers. All these things people think are woo-woo are science.
It is, I mean,
So,
it's metaphysics, really.
yeah.
And metaphysics is so complex, and it's just like way over my head, so I just go with the woo-woo.
Well, it's like too, when you think of the word metaphysics, physics, right? Quantum physics,
Oh, yeah.
metaphysics, I mean, it's physics, it's just
Right, and
meta.
right, and when I talk about the laws of the universe, you know, I tell people it's like they're proven in physics.
Yeah.
I mean, every single law of the universe is proven
Yes.
in physics.
Yep.
So You know, it's like, it works. And I tell people, it's like, yeah. So I made my husband read the 12 Laws of the Universe because he doesn't
Yeah.
believe in any of what I believe in.
Right,
He goes like,
right.
well, it works for you, you just do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And apparently I'm strong enough to make it work for both of us, you know. But he promised me he would read at least read about
Yeah.
the laws,
Fabulous.
right? And he was like, well, I said,
It's kind of hard to argue with.
so yeah, and I said, well, what? And he goes, well, it works for you. And I laughed and I said, yes, and gravity works for you too.
Yes, that's right.
And that's what I usually tell people. It's like, it's
Right,
like gravity.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, we don't know, I don't know how it works and
It
all
just
that,
does.
it just
Yeah.
does. But
So,
anyway.
Yeah, so I use this in my work because I'm a purpose coach. I help people identify and then get in alignment with their innate purpose, which is the only way to that deep joy and fulfillment that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest and most joyful way through life is by living in alignment with your purpose.
Yes.
So I'm such a purpose freak, and I help people
Which is good.
identify and live. So I'm a purpose coach.
Which
And
is-
speaking of laws, I use law of attraction as well.
Mhm. Well, and it makes a difference when you're in your purpose because it's like you were stuck in corporate for a long time too, you know, and it's like before I stepped into me and my gift, I mean, I was shooting myself because, you know, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But something was missing and it wasn't fulfilling and I mean, I don't know about
Isn't that
you, but
an
it's
icky
like
feeling?
I was
Yeah.
miserable and I was like getting worse and it's like, what the fire truck is happening?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, what? And then all of a sudden I was doing something for mortgages and in the split second I had this conversation in my head. You know, it's like, why are you doing this? This does nothing for you. It's taken away from your happy. This is not what you're meant to do. It's like, screw it, done, poof, closed the lid, walked away, never looked back.
Yeah. So here's how it came
So-
to me, because I can't remember if I mentioned since we've been filming, but I've had 3 careers. One, I was in a big corporation. Then I was head of sales and marketing for a small firm calling on corporations.
Mhm.
And then I was a professional speaker, my own company, for 20 years.
Wow.
And that I was much happier with because now I know I was closer to purpose, but not close enough so it didn't
It's so
last
close,
forever.
it's still so far away.
Yeah. So after 12 or 15 years, I
What'd you
hit
go
that
past?
same wall again of I know there's something else. I'm getting bored again. There's something missing. I can't figure it out. I didn't know what to do, so I just kept doing it. And as my heart pulled away from it, so did the revenue. But I didn't want to invest in it because I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was just in this downward spiral.
Well,
And
because of the
then-
self-doubts are coming in and it's like
I just-
all of that whole...
It's hard to figure out ourselves. It's
Right.
really hard to figure out ourselves. So because I wasn't taking action, then the universe says, okay, we need to get your attention with one of those
Whap! I call it the 2x4 from the universe.
exactly cosmic 2x4, and my parents died 3 months apart. So
Whoa,
it really
sorry to
was
hear that.
a wake-up call. You know, it was like, hey, life is short, quit farting around and figure this out. So
Right.
that's when I started Googling, how do I find my life purpose? And eventually, I mean, I went down explored some things, nothing was really grabbing. And then I saw a headline for a teleseminar, and it said, discover your innate life purpose. I was like,
Sign me up.
oh, that is just too good to be true. And I clicked on it, and the first words I saw were hand analysis. And I was like,
Oh.
no, that's not what I want. Come on, I'm serious here. You know, my
I know, right?
MBA
It's like,
skeptic, like, no, I don't think so. And then I saw the word scientific. So for the moment, that word helped me put aside my anal MBA skepticism. So I listened to the teleseminar, and God, I
you mean
couldn't
you got
argue
out
with
of your
it.
own way and pushed your ego
Got
aside?
out of my own way for the hour of that teleseminar,
Good for you.
and it made sense, and I really wanted my purpose. So I got a hand analysis, changed my life.
That is so fascinating. So how long have you been doing this then? And how, I mean, how
7
long?
years.
So 7 years. So of course the question is, you know, because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, oh, that'd be interesting, you know, maybe either to find somebody who can do it for them or maybe to become an analyst themselves. You know, so how long did it take you to learn?
So there's different
Yeah.
levels.
Mm-hmm.
Level 1 is a 4-day weekend. Or when I taught it, I did like 10 2-hour webinars,
Oh, okay.
you know, and that's the fingerprint system.
Okay.
So there's some really important information that comes from the fingerprint,
Oh, I
sort
bet.
of the core of who you are. The
So
core,
what about people that pick their fingers and have essentially have no more fingerprint?
Well, I've heard that a lot. They can't get my fingerprints. You're not going to be able to get my fingerprints. I've gotten 99.9% of fingerprints.
Snap! That's awesome.
So
I'm curious because my husband picks his fingers.
well,
So.
his might be difficult in some cases, but if it's all the fingers or just one, all that means something.
No, I don't think he
means
discriminates.
something. So, yeah, and it's done remotely, which is cool. I had a client this morning at 7:30 in Singapore.
Oh wow.
Because we use handprints like this.
Okay.
So we use handprints like this.
Then okay.
And
I'll take a picture of it later.
Okay.
And figure out how to put it into the
Yeah.
film.
And then we do a Zoom call and it's all recorded, but the first step of any part of it is the hand analysis. Also, level 1 is the fingerprint system.
Okay.
Level 2 is everything else. The way I learned it, it was a year.
Oh wow.
But it was also a transformation program at the same time. You
Mhm.
can't dive that deep into what's in your hands without going through growth and transformation.
Right.
Again.
I know. It's amazing. It's awesome though.
I
Isn't
know.
it?
I'll never stop.
Because it's like what we learn. Well, the thing is, if we stop growing, we start dying.
I'm a growth junkie.
I
I'm
mean,
a horse junkie, a hand junkie, and a growth junkie, and a dark chocolate junkie. Okay, so.
Now you speak
Those
on my
are my
language.
passions. And nature. So then I got level 3, which is advanced,
Mhm.
which was another year. And then I got level 4, which was so that I can teach it. So I'm as highly certified as you can get.
That is amazing.
And I'm a master scientific hand analyst, which just refers to the sheer number of analysis that I've conducted.
Wow. That is so.
I
cool.
know my stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I would say yeah.
So, yeah, and I just love it. I love the reveal
Right.
of somebody's purpose, and also because what impacted me before I even knew I wanted to be a hand analyst was taking action on my tripping points, which we call student paths.
Okay.
Everybody's got them. Nobody can ever be off of them 100%. And I got this hand analysis and it made, oh my God, Beanie, it made so much sense. It answered questions I didn't even know I had. It was like, no wonder. I kept saying, oh my God, no wonder. Oh my God, no wonder. No wonder that didn't work, and no wonder that did, and no wonder I didn't like that, and no wonder I did like that, and no wonder
Interesting.
these
Wow.
patterns kept showing up. And it just blew my mind, and I was so inspired and on fire, and I didn't know what to do with it yet. But I knew, I really believed, if I took action on those student paths, I would find my way to the right person to help me, to
Right.
whatever, and that's exactly what happened. And within 3 months, I was like, if I was so on fire and lit up before I even knew what to do with this information as a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I want to make people feel. So that's when
Well,
I decided to be a
That
hand
is,
analyst.
and I totally get that. I totally get because
It was
that's
just-
how I feel. You know, with the
I have goosebumps sitting
I know.
right here.
I'm like having chills. I'm like, oh, this feels so good. This chill's so good. You know.
And that's what I want people to feel like. That's what we're supposed to feel like.
Right, and I get that because it's like when I talk to people, you know, and help them raise their vibration and help them define their happy and make them understand it's like, hey, happiness is a choice, it's an inside job.
Yep.
And when they get it and they light up, you know, and then they take those pieces that I give them, you know, the homework or whatever, that to help them take it further and really instill it, and they come back and I get the biggest hug and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's
just-
like, oh, I like
everybody's meant to
it
feel that
melts.
way.
Right.
We're all meant to feel that way.
I know, it is so, and I'm just like, I'm still like going like, whoa.
It's pretty cool. Every once in a while, somebody can't relate to some of the information, and it's usually people that haven't done a lot of growth work, so they're not super self-aware.
Mhm.
But usually, those people aren't attracted to hand analysis to begin with.
No, that beats it out right
So-
there.
And then
So-
there's also markings in the hands called gift markings, which are indications of extra potential talent in different areas. So,
I'm like,
oh, I don't have my magnifying glass,
Oh.
but I'm trying to see if I can just see one with my naked eye in not so great light. Oh, hello. That's one.
in
Yeah.
your face.
There's one. See how long, this is your headline, and when
Okay.
it's that long,
Uh-huh.
that's a gift marking, and it's half analytical and half intuitive, and it means that it's kind of the nerd part of you that you like researching and
Right.
analyzing and gathering information. You can file it away, and then you're meant to help people with big issues that make you feel important. And that's part of the reason the mortgage business didn't suit you. Because for you, now, for others, maybe fine, but for you, it wasn't deep enough.
No, it wasn't.
And helping people find their happy is a big issue, and people around the globe struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an important gift. And then when you're helping somebody,
Like,
when you're helping somebody with that, you intuitively you can go take the files out of all this research and study that you've done and help them solve that issue.
pretty much, yeah.
So now the challenge is, remember everything has student path? So, and nobody's on the master path 100% of the time of anything.
Right.
Bummer, but oh well.
Hey, working on it.
We're works in progress. Is if you get bored, your brain has to be solving problems, has to be working on big issues. It will create issues in your own life to resolve because it has to be solving problems unless you're focusing on other people's.
She is good.
So, well,
Yeah.
you're self-aware enough to
Oh,
recognize
I'm very,
it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Now I am.
Yeah.
You know, it took
So-
me a long time to get here, but now I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
So that's one I could just see with my naked eye. My eye's naked.
Ooh, I like it. Hey, it's
So-
my show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because, you know, Ellen has to retire eventually. Ellen DeGeneres. The Ellen show.
Eventually, yes.
She has to
I love
retire.
her.
I know, I love her. I love her to pieces, and she's
Yeah.
amazing. And I have learned so much from her and from Oprah, and I freaking love them forever. And I'm always grateful. But eventually, Ellen, you have to retire. Just saying.
Yeah, so that you can take her place.
Somebody has to. Why not me?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Why not?
So yeah, I actually used to hashtag Ellen has to retire eventually.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I will. So
No.
I'm not sure. Who
But
knows?
you know the thing is like when we love what we do, and you love what you do, I love what I do.
Oh yeah.
I don't see myself ever stopping.
Not totally. I
May-
mean, I may
maybe-
vacation more and travel more and stuff like that, but I'll never
Yeah, but
stop.
see, even when we're traveling, it's like for me. I mean, I spread happy everywhere I go because it's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that's like turn the switch on, turn the switch off. It's
Yeah.
just who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just those little blips of wisdom or whatever you want to call it that want to come out for that person that I'm talking with. You
As
know,
long
it's
as
just,
there's self-care involved, that's what we have to watch
Right.
out for when we're so
oh, and I learned that the hard way.
driven to serve and
Yeah.
to make a difference.
It's like I laugh. People are like, "Hey, so are you coming? There's this event on Sunday," and I laugh. I'm like, "I don't Sunday.
Yeah.
I brush teeth on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what I
my
do
time
on
to just
Sunday."
read, although yesterday I did clean house. I rode my horse, had coffee with a friend, cleaned my house,
We actually did family dinner yesterday.
and then
'Cause
read.
Once a
Right,
month.
gorgeous.
Usually the third Sunday of the month, we have the kids over for family dinner,
Oh,
so Mama can put ice on the kitchen.
yeah, of course.
And but because today is our 30th anniversary,
Happy anniversary.
of course, by the time the show shows, it
The
was
show
our,
shows.
The show shows. It was our 30th anniversary, and then tomorrow is my husband's birthday. So
Whoa, big time.
yeah, so we went out to lunch, dinner, whatever thing yesterday
Nice.
with the kids, and so I actually did get dressed and did more than brush teeth.
So what else can I tell you about hand analysis? Anything? I mean, God, I can talk forever.
Well, I mean, so
I love speaking about it. I've spoken over 200 times.
right.
the
So
last few
I'm
years.
curious too, and I'm sure some of the viewers might be as well. I mean, having our life path is good, but what about health issues?
Not
Can-
that much health comes out of the hands
Not much. Okay.
for the hand analysis because, so for example, if you take your prints and there's a white spot on your heart line,
Mm-hmm.
so that does mean energy leakage, but I don't know if it's emotional or physical.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would be irresponsible of me to go, know.
That would freak them out.
Right. I can see stamina things. I can see if somebody's had maybe some challenges.
Oh,
But
okay.
again, I don't know if it's emotional or physical.
Well, it's all energy.
Yeah, so
It's all energy, and it's
and we
like,
see that in a lifeline,
okay, which one is the lifeline?
this one.
That
And
one?
see how yours stops right here? So people are like, oh my God, I have a short lifeline.
No,
Well, in
but I have two. I have one
no,
right
that's
next to it.
that's probably a fate line. That's a fate line
Oh.
coming up from here.
Oh,
But
okay.
this is your.
Mo, you're not helping.
You're kind of in my way, sweetheart. You're
It's-
gorgeous.
It's
but
palm reading, not paw reading.
you smell in my brain. So there's a break in
Oh,
your
okay.
lifeline. So that would tell me there was some kind of challenge
Oh, okay.
that you've had that was enough to break your lifeline. Mine is
Well,
short,
okay.
which in hand analysis does not mean a short life. That's palm reading.
Right.
But a short lifeline, in other words, mine ends about here
Oh, wow.
instead of going all the way down here.
Uh-huh.
But that's like shiny object syndrome, squirrel.
I like squirrel.
Yeah, so it's that whatever, when something pops in your mind, you do it.
Right.
So you're bopping all over the place. It amazes me that I never miss a deadline, but let me tell you, I'm like a pinball machine on my
That's
way
what
there.
calendars are for.
I've got calendars, but
But they
still
only
something
work-
pops in my mind and I'm...
But they only work if you actually write the stuff in the calendar and you synchronize the calendars you have.
Anyway.
Anyway, so you also wrote a book.
Yes.
Let's talk about your book for a minute because I love
I'll
books.
show you. So this is
So,
my book.
what's
I'm
it
very
called?
proud of it.
Twists and Turns.
Twists, Turns, and Truths.
Oh, Twist, Turns, and Truths.
Twists, Turns, and Truths. The life and lines of a master scientific hand analyst.
Love
So it's like 2/3 memoir, 1/3 self-help.
that. Okay.
So I've told some of the more emotive, up and down stories of my life and how characteristics of me involved, good and bad,
Mm-hmm.
show up in my hands.
Very cool.
So it's not to teach you hand analysis,
Right.
but you will learn some about it and you'll recognize some of the characteristics and you can go, oh, I have that line, what's that mean? You know, and then just learn a
Mhm.
little bit about yourself. So
That's cool. See,
And
I
there's-
like books like that. That's kind of like what I did with mine.
Mm.
I share a lot about my story in every chapter,
yeah,
but then I also, it's like, you know, for the chapter, say for forgiveness, you know, it's like what I have done
yeah,
to do the forgiveness, and then what the reader can do
yeah,
as
perfect.
well. So,
And this
Is
says,
that
do you
pretty
have
much-
this mark? Yeah. So
Okay.
at the end of the chapter, so there's a lot of images
ooh,
of hand analysis. There's some
very cool.
pictures
Hands,
of a few of my
not claws,
horses
ma'am.
in here. And then like at the end, let me see an example. Here. So it'll ask you, are you leading yourself? In other words, so here's some leadership information, how it shows up. You know, not only is it about leading others, but it's about leading yourself. So it's asking you questions.
Very
you know,
cool.
Are you doing this? And there's, you know, and it says on the back, readers will laugh, cry, cheer, and even wince, you know, as they peek into her journey full of challenges, celebrations, and vulnerability. It's kind of scary. I've told people it's
Well, I
like
mean,
maybe I should stamp TMI on the cover. it's very vulnerable, it's very open.
But you know, to me, those are the best kind of books.
Well, it's the only way to teach.
It's exactly
Is to be authentic
right
and to be open
and be vulnerable.
be courageous.
You know,
and vulnerable.
let people
Yeah.
know it's like you're not alone. It's like whatever it is you're going through,
Yeah.
guaranteed there's more out there
Oh,
who
yeah.
are going through it or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
I have dog slobber in my face. Why? Thank you, Mo. He's like, I'm cute, but no, I mean, but that's the best way to learn and really bring the message
I
home
think
because
so.
that's how but that's how I relate when I
Yeah.
read something. You know,
Yeah.
it's like blah 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 statistics, blah 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 blah. I just glaze over, and I tune out.
Yep.
And they say you cannot read and think at the same time, which is true. But I kind of read it, but it's not registering because I'm thinking of something completely different.
Oh, I see.
And that's when I glaze over.
Yeah.
But if it's something that I can relate to, you know,
Yeah.
like the feeling that the author conveys, because I felt that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's real. Now I can relate. Now what you're telling me, you know, is truth.
And that was my intention.
I love that.
And there's even poems. I write poetry. I haven't written in a while, but some of these, when these situations happened,
Mm-hmm.
they generated poems, and so I included
Very cool.
some poems in there too.
Okay, what you read?
So
This is, I'm still like, whoa.
I'm so fortunate that I found this work, and I just love it, and I love talking about it and speaking about it.
I couldn't tell that you like it,
Yeah.
or love it, or no. Couldn't tell it. I really had to like, give me the information.
It's like, shut her up.
No, but I totally get it, because when we talk about what we're passionate about, we can talk
Yeah.
about it all day long.
Yep.
You know, it's like, what do you mean you don't want to listen? Do you want to listen? Okay, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
like, Beanie wants to talk to me about hand analysis. Okay, I'll drive an hour and 45 minutes and come down here.
thank you.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank
So-
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No,
well,
because,
I
I mean,
appreciate
it's-
the opportunity.
And it's fascinating. I'm all about, you know, educating people and, you know, sharing information, giving nuggets, helping people. And that's really what the show is about, is to help people, you know, be better, be more, get new tools to live a better life, let them know you're not alone, be inspired, be encouraged. I mean, all of those things. That's really why I started the show.
And I'm honored to be a guest too.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
new toy.
it's
We got pizza this
Pizza
time.
time. Mo is just
Stuffed pizza.
So Mo is coming in, bringing random toys in here, and pizza is actually one of his newest toys, and it became his favorite. And we laugh when he's trying to lick those pizza, the
The
pepperoni
pepperoni's
pieces,
off.
and he's very intently licking them, and we're like, dude, they're like not real, they're so not real, but he's so happy. But no, I mean, it is just, I mean, if somebody would told me I would do a show at some point, that Happiness Matters would take on a life of its own, I would have laughed. That I would do TV,
And here you go.
I would have laughed. That I have a regular spot on our local TV channel here
Oh,
now,
awesome.
every first Monday of the month
Yeah.
for Motivation Monday.
Oh, nice.
If somebody would told me that a year ago, I would have laughed. I was like, no, because when I did a radio show with a friend of mine, and the first time I got the microphone in my face, I was mortified.
Oh.
I had my stomach churned, and I was nervous, and my friend, she goes, I couldn't tell. No, never. I said, oh yeah, every single time. But I was still shooting myself. I wasn't, even though
Yeah.
I was speaking my truth and my passion, because it was all about matters of perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and talking about the happy and, you know, things, pretty much what I do now, except I hadn't stepped into my gift yet. And it makes a difference.
Oh, totally.
It makes a difference. Even though
Yeah.
it was my passion, I hadn't fully committed to it yet. I hadn't committed to stepping in it because I still let that fear control me.
Yeah.
I still let that doubt control me. I still let that ego get into my way. You know, and last year, April 1st, I was like, I mean,
I'm done. It's
that
time.
2x4 of the
Yeah.
universe is like, yeah.
If we don't listen, you know, it's like I tell people, gotta light a match under your butt. Make it a little uncomfortable. And if you don't take action with that,
And eventually it becomes a bonfire.
it becomes a flamethrower.
Yes,
So-
because it's like, oh, you didn't get that here, let me add a little to it. Maybe you get
Yeah.
it this time. Oh, you still didn't get it here, have more. You know, and a lot of times, because if we don't have this awareness, we're just reacting, we're going into, I call it the victimhood, in victim mode, you know, that poor me and why is this happening to me? And now you focus on that, and of course you get more out because law of attraction.
Law of attraction, right.
You know, and it's that cycle, it's like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. There's a lesson you need to learn. There's something you need to take away from that, because if you don't, it's going to go on repeat, and it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder. And oh, by the way, believe it or not, if you do not clear it in this lifetime, you repeat it in your next lifetime.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a lot of alignment, because I had a radio show too, an internet radio show for a year and a half.
Nice.
And then just kind of got tired of it, so I stopped it. But, yeah. Who knows?
It's like, who knows
you know?
where the path leads? And it's like, but I mean,
Yeah.
if there's something you guys are really passionate about that lights you up when you think about it, when you talk about it, I would say there's a good chance that's your purpose,
At least part of it.
a part of it, you know, or you can develop your purpose with that. That's my thing. You know, it's like if there's something, I mean, everybody has something that lights them up, that excites them.
For sure. And if they don't,
get something.
Then they need to work with me because I'll find it.
Right, find something.
You've got to.
But it
you know.
makes all the difference.
Yeah.
And I have to
Yeah.
say, it's like for me, and I'm sure you experience the same thing. Once you stepped into you and into your gift, it's just like,
Yep.
I'm in awe. I am in
Yeah.
awe. Looking back, it's been just what, over a year, year and a half almost now
Yeah.
for me. And whoa. Wow. But just by saying yes to me
Yes.
and stepping forward,
Yeah.
and it's like, maybe I should have met you longer ago, but hey, there's no coincidence.
No, there's not.
I wasn't
at all.
ready, because we have to be ready also.
Yeah.
It's one
Yeah.
thing, being excited about something and knowing what your gift is, but you also have to be ready to embrace it and step into it and move forward with it.
Mhm.
And shut down that voice that, trying to keep you safe, which, boring.
Well, it's our ego that tries to protect us. It's,
Right,
you know.
right, and it's real.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what, you make it your friend. It's like, you know what? How about instead of having the whole cake at once, how about we just start with a little bite? And then you can ease your ego and that voice
Yeah.
into that. Make it a new comfort zone. And I always laugh when people's like, oh yeah, comfort zone, and I laugh. I'm like, what's a comfort zone?
Well, you know what I tell people?
Or what's a box?
Getting on purpose feels like stepping off a cliff.
It does.
And it could be a little cliff or a big cliff. But you gotta trust that the parachute will open.
Yes.
And it will. But you will pee your pants on the way down.
Yep,
Because it's scary.
it is.
We have washing machines, right? So,
And we can buy new clothes if we have
Yeah.
to. But no, seriously, it's also exhilarating at the same time.
Mhm.
It is so scary and exhilarating at the same time.
When you know you're getting on track.
Right,
There's
when
nothing like
Now
it.
I'm just like, I always say yes, and it's the power of yes. Gary Barnes talks about the power of yes. And people laugh at me, they're like, do you always say yes? Yes? Well, in my head real quick, I weigh the pros and cons real
Right.
quick,
Well, we have to be careful with our boundaries. That's
Right.
the only time I say no.
Exactly. It's like if it's within my realm, and I have my perimeters and my boundaries
Yeah.
set, for myself and for people coming in. But if opportunity knocks, yes.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh crap, now what? But yes,
Yeah.
always.
Worry about the how later.
I never worry about the how, the why, the when, the what. I just say yes, and I trust the universe provides. And oh my gosh, every single time. And it's like, oh, this is cool. And what's really cool is because I'm not worried about the ifs, the whens, the whats, the hows, and all of that stuff. I put out what I want, and I get so much more.
Yeah.
And so much better than I could ever even
So
imagine.
you're a fabulous manifester then.
I was actually told I'm a master manifester
Well,
by my spirit guides, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
some
Clearly.
of my clairvoyant friends,
Cool.
my woo-woo friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a master manifester,
Yeah.
and it really stepped up for me this year. So, and I'm
Good for you.
Oh,
Awesome.
it is
Yeah.
so fun, and it's fun, and you can manifest, guys. Here's something really simple to do, just to start the game with the manifesting.
Sure.
Parking spaces.
Yeah.
We all are looking for the parking space. So before you go somewhere, and you have to find parking, and usually parking is hard. Forget about usually the parking is hard. Imagine you visualize the parking space you want right in front of the door. Within the one right in front of the door, and then one or two to the left and one or two to the right. Visualize that. Believe you get it, and then forget about it. And then get there. About 99% of the time you will have it.
And the hard part is the believing.
The hard part is, that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying 99% of the time you will have it.
Yeah.
If you really believe it, you will have it. It doesn't fail for me. My husband is like, oh look, there's plenty of parking. And my joke is, of course, because I called ahead.
Yeah. And another one that I like to do too that's simple like that and is just think of a sign. Let's say that you want to see an elephant
Mm-hmm.
in the next 48 hours.
Oh yeah.
Just put out that you're going to see an elephant
Mm-hmm.
and then let it go.
And
And then
poof.
just be aware.
That's the key. You have to be aware too.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
trust, believe it will happen,
Yeah.
and then have that awareness.
Yep.
But yeah, with the parking space, it's fun to do.
And of course, it wouldn't be a real elephant, but I had somebody.
But hey, you know what? I wouldn't say it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
But it could be on a truck driving by. It could be,
It could be
on
on
a
a
card
magazine,
that
a
you
picture.
draw.
It could be anything.
Anywhere. So
It's fun.
cool.
But anyway, this is
All
fun.
right.
See, I can talk this stuff all day long.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is it for today. Saint German is coming
Yeah,
out.
I was going to say thank you very much.
No, thank
Yes.
you, James, so much for driving down here.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And for being on the show, for sharing your wisdom. And
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I'm still like, whoa.
I'm honored, so I'm happy to be
It
here.
is
And thanks you guys
awesome.
for watching.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching, for being here for another episode. And as always, be happy, be kind, be love. Bye.